Hi, my lovelies. Long time no see. Uh, Yesterday was a weird day, like energetically speaking. It was just. So I didn't pull any readings yesterday because, I wasn't in my usual neutral space, because the energies were kind of wonky. Anyway, I asked the universe about the DM. Like, where are they right now? Uh, what are they doing? What are they feeling? What's happening with them, uh, because I felt in the energies, like the something's up with them, something's up with the DM, and I felt like the universe wanted to talk about the DM anyway, so yeah, I asked about the DM. So there's some decision making, major some major decisions being made. um, Something is brought up that they haven't addressed in the past, or they carpet swept, and now they're taking stocks almost, like, the situation, what happened in the past. um, it's almost like they have new knowledge or new information about it. Could be just their inner, um, their inner realizations, their inner truths, and now they're seeing more clearly, um, the situation, at hand. um, so it is being brought back up. The universe is bringing it up, um, because they need to close, the world. They need to close this thing that they have in their life that they never addressed properly. So this is their home, their family, their marriage. um, it's something to do with their home life, uh, and this is the decision that was never made, and this card is telling me that they're making a decision now. It's like he has, new, well, new information, under these bowls, and now he's reading all that, getting knowledge and all. The thing is, he always had that information. He always had these bowls, but it's almost like he couldn't read the messages, or maybe he was too afraid to read the messages, but now that it's brought up again, he has to, uh, read it and, close the chapter, so to speak. um, for some of you out there, if they filed for a divorce or something, and if it was dragging, um, it's gonna close soon. They're gonna get the papers or whatever. um, I just feel, like it needs to close, some kind of chapter or issue or whatever. It needs to close. and then that, when they finish that, it's gonna propel them towards you. It's gonna propel them forward anyway, because this feels like a burden lifted, or even a closure of some sort. So, being rid of a burden or burdens, it's gonna propel them, it's almost like they're gonna jump, what's the word, like a hyperloop, like in those in Star Trek and those sci-fi movies, they're gonna get warp speed and they're just gonna jump, from, it's like jumping from one planet to another that's like light years and light years away. Or like in the cartoons, like when they when they kick you in the butt and the characters just goes, over the mountains, until he becomes a little dot in the distance. It's that kind of push. It's very, very abrupt, and yeah, and it is gonna make them, to come towards you. They might tell you as well what happened here, and it feels very, very stretched, time wise. So don't be like, oh my god, this is gonna happen this month. It's very stretched. For some of you it could happen this month or next month or in the next 3 months. So for some of you it could happen quicker, than for the rest of you, but it is pretty, pretty stretched. It depends on your person, on how much they are willing to change or talk, to the other side. So yeah, there's no actual time, in these in the energies that I'm feeling in this reading. But there is something major happening, some kind of decision. So they might be quiet a little bit at this time until they figure it out. The universe is also making them it's making them operate more from the soul than the ego, because their ego was driving this whole time, But I feel with this card, it's like the tower. The soul just, bursted open, and it's almost like a phoenix, phoenix rising. And just by doing that, just by letting their soul lead and, drive, that alone is gonna make a chapter end, if you will. it's like a completion, you know. It's like, imagine they had a soul contract, you know, with you, and in that soul contract they had like little notes what they need to do, what they need to accomplish, you know. And even before they met you, their ego was always driving, you know, their ego was up front, and the soul was kind of, you know, pushed down. um, so one of those notes was, you know, to release the soul, to let the soul drive, you know. So when they do that, it's kind of like a check mark, you know, with the world. It's kind of like a check mark. I completed that task, you know. um, and once they let the soul drive, um, it's gonna be hard to push it back in, you know. um, it's one of those things, you know, when it happens, it's done, that's it, you know. um, not saying their ego is gonna completely disappear, you know, but it is gonna be easier for the soul, you know, to express itself. Once it's out, you know. There could be kind of, you know, a battle here and there between the soul and ego, you know. It's not like your person is gonna change overnight, but it is gonna be easier, you know. The battle is gonna be easier for the soul to get stronger and win uh, over the ego, you know. There's also a sense of in and out of the marriage, whatever that means for you guys. It could be for some of you, you know, if they're married and you're talking or were talking, um, it's like they did that behind their spouse's back, you know. So that's in and out of the marriage. um, Even if they didn't cheat with you, you know. um, um, if it was only just conversations and all that, it's still they hid it from their spouse or partner or family, you know. They still hid the fact that they went and talked to you, or that they saw you. um, Even if it was by accident, you know, just seeing you on the street and having a chat with you, you know. They still kind of kept it hidden. For some reason it has that feeling of cheating, even if it was just a random conversation on the street, you know. But for them it feels like cheating. uh, Even if they never told you that, you know, even if they don't show it in the 3D, uh, inside they feel like they were cheating, or like it was a bad thing to do, you know. Because normal people, you know, if they met somebody on the street and talked to them, I mean, why would it be a problem to tell the spouse or the family, you know? Oh, I met so and so, we had a little chat, yeah. You know, it's like a normal normal information, you know. But because they sense that connection that you two have, and because they have feelings, you know, just a simple conversation is kind of like a bad thing, you know, that we don't talk about. Basically, they kept you hidden, you know. Um, Even if the spouse knows about you, you know, they still kept it hidden. They didn't talk about it, you know. So that's the thing with the in and out. Um, that's now what's coming up for them. I don't know. It's an individual thing, you know. Um, could be something about you, you know, if the spouse knows. Could be something just, you know, inside the marriage that doesn't have anything to do with you, or in the family, whatever, you know. Um, could be anything really. Now, some of them, and I guess it could be reversed as well, the in and out, it happened with other people before they met you. Now, like I said, it could be reversed. It could be the spouse that was doing that, you know, could be them, could be both, even. But there is some kind of, you know, on and off with the marriage. It's very, very weird energy. There's also an energy that they couldn't or didn't leave the marriage or relationship or family dynamics because of money. There could be some loss of money, so they never did anything about it. Again, even before they met you. Because we already know from past readings, you know, when it comes to their marriage, it's long dead. It died a long time ago, and they should have left, you know, a long time ago. But this is the big part why there's codependency and money issues. Somebody here could be petty, you know, probably the spouse, and tried to get as much money as they could, you know, or just getting something that they love, even if it's kids involved, you know. The spouse will try to get the kids just to spite them, you know. But yeah, this is like the universe saying, you know, it's time for you to choose, um to choose right from the soul, not from the brain. And cups is also soul. Swords would be the mind, you know. It's almost like they're trying to sort their feelings about something, about some situation or whatever. Now this tower could happen, so it could speed up the decision, you know, because I feel this is very important. They need to close some kind of chapter inside them or inside, you know, their life. It feels like one of those, you know, missing cases, or what's it called, unclosed cases, unfinished cases, and the universe is like, you know, we need to wrap this up, this case, this mystery. There is some communication coming your way, very unexpected. Like I said, with this bottom road, there could be some, you know, silence at the moment. And just when you think you won't ever hear from them, that's when they come in, you know. It could also be the like a closure with you, but not like a closure to separate, but more like a closure because there's some misunderstanding, some miscommunication, you know, or words not spoken, you know. So with the world, it's almost like they need to fix things. They need to fix this. They need to make it right. And people usually do that when they feel a lot of guilt. There's a lot of guilt inside the DM collective. Remember how I said they're going backwards, they're going back in time, you know, when they first met you or just before they met you. That initial soul recognition had lots of it was just like the tower, you know. It tore apart, you know, their wall and the box where they stored everything that they didn't want to look at, you know. So your connection, you know, bursted open the box and everything flew out, you know, all the love but also all the pain with it. So now that they went back in time, that love is also in the energy, you know. They could appear in the 3D like very cold, you might be sensing that they are cold, or that there's nothing, it's dead, flatline. But again, if you step into your soul energy, you will feel that warmth and love, that initial love that came up when you had that soul recognition. It's there, it's in the energy, it's very hyped up. It's like when you put Mentos in a Coke bottle, everything just erupts. So their feelings are like that. They're being brought up again. So because of that, and the new realizations, that they have in this past 2.5 years or whatever, whenever your soul recognition happened, because of those informations, realizations, and all that, and the love that's bursting open again, it's like reigniting the flame, so because of that, there's lots of guilt as well. So that guilt could propel them, to come towards you and fix things, because they won't be able to what's the word, they won't be able to hold it in anymore. Like for me today, I felt such a strong pull from my person. It was very, very strong. It's like all the desires, she kept hidden and didn't want to look at it. It's like everything is coming up all at once, like it felt like if she was standing right in front of me, she would just explode, like literally just explode. It was that kind of feeling, like she wanted to do everything all at once, talk, spill some tea, spill some truth, you know touch, kiss, everything, cuddle, all at once, so that's happening with them too, but because they're a master at keeping a wall up, you feel like it's dead, because you're focusing on the 3D, but in the 5D, in their soul, there's so much emotions happening. It's just like this card, it's all coming up to the surface again. And this is the exact feeling when you fix a wrongdoing, you become lighter. Everything all of a sudden is fine, you feel like on top of the world, top of the clouds, feel like you can fly, lifting of burdens. Those words are exactly like this picture, Could be also that completion of a contract. That's something that's in the contract. Soul contract. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what the witches have to say. Tell me about the tower. Could be also that something that they see or feel that's gonna propel them towards you. Oh, perfect. 3 cards. See? Love. So much love. Queen of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, and Page of Wands. What's at the bottom? The Moon. Yeah, that holding of secrets. I think I mentioned it in these two. Something they carpet swept for a very long time, you know, and didn't want to look at it, didn't want to touch it. Kept it hidden, you know. It's all in these two cards. You know, there what I found out offline, because I like to do readings offline too, especially when I'm bored. They when they had that soul recognition, they put a wall up. Now, they were always bad at expressing emotions. It's almost like emotionally they never reached beyond the toddler age, you know. It's like they put that toddler inside the cage without any social interaction, you know. And then when you came along, when that soul recognition happened, that child, those emotions, they were like a wild animal, you know, that's been caged for far too long. So when that animal is released, it's like that, you know, screaming and just going, wow, you know, very, very erratic, you know. So because they can't control their emotions, it becomes they can't control it, and when it's out, they're very impulsive, or it becomes very obsessive, you know, the emotions. So because of that, they told the ego, okay, you take the wheel, because my soul can't put up a wall. Now the soul is emotions, you know. And the soul doesn't know anything about walls. It doesn't put walls, you know. It expresses itself. But because they put it in a cage, It's not, it didn't develop with age, it just stopped growing at the toddler age. So they said, okay, ego, you take the wheel, because I'm not able to put a wall when my soul is driving, So the ego came in, it put automatically the wall up, and that's the only thing they can control, the wall they can control. What's behind the wall they can't. That's why the wall was always there. It's the only thing they can control. At least that's their perception of it. That's why it was always, hidden, not letting it go, right? And these are those emotions, those big, big emotions, running wild. And that's the tower, bursting those emotions up. Something here will happen that will make them act very impulsive. Some kind of emotions will come out. This tower will make it happen. Now, for example, I'm not saying it will happen. For example, they see you, flirting with somebody else, chatting with somebody else, right? And their emotions get the better of them, they come charging in, and then they basically have a fight with you. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, okay? Just an example. So they might start a fight with you, but in reality, it's more like, I love you, I always loved you, it was love at first sight, and I want to be with you. I don't want you to be with anybody else. I want you to be with me and only me. I always dreamt about it. But because, they are immature with their emotions, it's gonna come off as a fight, It's almost like, saying, I love you. They blur out, oh my God, you're a slut. You're having, chats with 3 guys, on Tinder or whatever. It might come off as wrong, just because, they're an emotional toddler. And we all know that toddlers are not able to express their emotions properly, they're still exploring them. So yeah. But even if that fight happens, it when we are impulsive, we sometimes say things that are actually true, that we didn't necessarily mean to say, so it might be some secrets they spill out accidentally while they fight and okay, let's see here. I knew there was the King of Wands somewhere. Yep. Okay, so the Moon, Queen of Wands, the Lovers, the Five of Wands, and the King of Wands. Yep. I see these 3 cards Now in this instance, this is you representing the beautiful bold woman, and this is them, and this is the fight. Now it doesn't mean it's gonna be a physical fight. It could be just a fight inside them that they're going through, you know. But it is some kind of eternal or external fight, you know, with you when it comes to you. But again, like I said, it could come could come out wrong, and this is the proof of that. You know, they feel the love, the lovers. They feel the love. They feel lots of passion. Everything is being brought up, you know. But because, you know, ego and immaturity, they turn it into a fight instead of just saying it, you know, as it is. Now with the moon, they could be, it's almost like hiding in the shadows, you know, and then just this eternal fight just building up, building up, building up, you know, until it explodes. Now this moon is all those words unspoken, miscommunication, and all that, you know, wrong perception and all that, you know. And because of that, it keeps building and building and building, you know, until it cracks. Oh, interesting. Okay, tell me about the Nine of Cups. They love the shit out of you. They love you and they're in love with you. They just don't know how to express it. Okay. Nine of Swords. Yeah. How do I fix this? Oh my god. Just, this is how they fix it. With communication. Justice is a card of communication. Devil and the High Priestess. Yep. Because of silence and not saying it properly or not saying it at all, you know, it built up this devil. So being silent built up this devil, and also, you know, vice versa, because of their fears they kept silent. But how to make justice is by speaking from the soul, you know, speaking from the soul. Their fears keep them up at night. That's what they're trying to figure out, you know. It could be multiple things, trying to figure out things with you and trying to figure out things with their side, something in their life, family, relationship, or marriage. But you know, these two, the world and the judgment, and the justice and the high priestess, it's kind of, it's giving me the same vibe. It's like the universe saying, you know, the conversation will happen whether you like it or not, whether you're ready or not. It's happening, you know. She feels very, very firm. And I feel some secrets with this card as well. It reminds me of that moon. She's holding a scroll. Come on, folks. She's holding a scroll, you know, and it's not open. You can't see what's written inside. And again, we have the moons here, you know, and on her head as a crown piece. This needs to burst open as well. This devil energy. But when I say burst open, I don't mean like dumping it onto you. I mean more like, you know, more like angel energy coming out and they have a battle and then the angel wins, you know, just obliterates the devil, you know, he turns into ashes and disappears. So I do think it's something eternal that they need to fix. I don't think the universe would allow for them to dump this devil onto you, because that wouldn't be justice for you, you know. And this is your reading, so it's justice for you. It also tells me when it comes to you, I hear the words have faith. So, you know, whatever that means to you. Also, the universe is, like, the image in my head is like, imagine the light of God, right? Like shining from here and then bouncing off of this sword of truth and shining, you know, from this corner. So it's like the justice is shining some truths onto their fears. And again, it goes with what I said, because of new realizations and new information, yada yada yada, they feel lots of guilt, you know. And it's here too with this light. The universe is shining some truths within their soul, and it's making them feel like shit, basically. Because they know they did something wrong, or they missed lots of opportunities, you know, with you to fix things. and now it's keeping them up at night, and it just it's like a little rat, you know, munching on their soul. So it could be very, very uncomfortable for them, you know, inside of them. Even though in the 3D, you know, you could never tell. They're good at that, you know. Now, 9 of Swords, 10 of Cups, Fool, the Sun, and the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, at night they're trying to distract themselves, you know, trying not to feel the guilt and the fears and all that, what they need to do. So at daytime they distract themselves, but at night, you know, the demons come out to play. So they keep them up at night. Now in their soul, when it comes to you, they feel lots of happiness, almost like a completion in the soul, you know, like in the soul they feel you as a dream come true. It's like you tick all the boxes, you know, that they need and want. Now with the Fool, they need to go with that, you know. They also need to have faith. They also need to have faith in you. They need to have faith in their emotions. They need to have faith in their own soul. Just faith, you know, in general. But also on the flip side, because of all the 4 cards, you know, they act kinda as a fool, you know, immature and all that. Just, you know, head up in the clouds, you know. I'm not looking, I don't wanna look, everything's fine, you know. If they did the right thing, you know, there wouldn't be the 9 of Swords, you know. Just with a simple conversation they can fix everything, you know. But they're still trying, you know, to distract themselves when they feel this in the soul, so that's why they act like a fool. And that's the demons inside them, you know. It's that battle, you know, between the soul and the ego. Like this would be, you know, the soul, this would be the 5D, and these two would be the ego, the mental mind, you know, all the fears and shit. So it's like a battle, you know, inside them. But this is what they want, you know, they want this kind of outcome. They just they're killing it to death, you know, with overthinking and all that. They distract themselves, like not thinking at all, and then they switch to overthinking, you know. There's no middle. It's black or white, you know, there's no middle. So they're kind of confused, you know, how to basically fix things. Now the universe might put pressure on them, you know, with this overthinking, with the guilt trip. And you know, when guilt eats us alive from within, we will do anything just to get rid of it, you know. So if it goes too far, they might come in to release that guilt, but for the wrong reasons, you know, just for them to feel better, so they don't feel the guilt anymore, you know. Now that's if it goes too far, you know. If they just suppress it and suppress it and suppress it, you know. It's gonna feel like they're coming in for the wrong reasons, you know. And it is gonna be for the wrong reasons. They should come in, you know, to make you feel better, you know, because they wronged you. But they might come in just to, you know, release the guilt, release the guilt on their side, you know. It's like the guy, you know, who finishes first and then lets you finish yourself, you know, by yourself. It's that kind of vibe, you know. But there are gonna be blasted with bad karma, you know. If they do that, they're not gonna be released of the guilt. It might build even more, you know, if they do that. Okay, tell me about the Two of Cups. Tell me now. Okay, that's a little bit too much. But it is, you know, like I said, with the Tower and the Eight of Wands, just rushing in because something is gonna happen. Okay, Two of Cups. King of Pentacles. I feel like that's you just minding your own business. Not expecting anything, you know. Seven of Wands. Two of Cups, oh my god. Two of Cups, clarifying the Two of Cups. And the World. Now I got for myself this combination. Now it's saying if you want this needs to change from defensive to oh my god, what's the other meaning? stepping out for yourself. It's almost like you need to fight for this and not fight against it. It's kind of similar with this, what I said. They might come in with a fight, but underneath that is just pure love, you know, because they want to be with you. So this is kind of giving me a similar vibe. Almost like defending, oh my god, how to put this, defending, like wrong time, wrong place, now again with the example, the mean is gonna go like that, just an example, so I can translate the energies. Imagine somebody else coming in, right, and you're having a nice time, you know, nice chats and nice dates or whatever, and then they come in your DM like this, and all of a sudden they defend you from that person, you know, like that person is a bad guy. Almost like, you know, that person is a bad guy, you shouldn't be with him, how can you trust him, you met him on Tinder, people online lie, how do you know he's not a rapist or whatever, you know. But again, it's all this immaturity, you know. It's almost almost like if I can't have you, nobody else can. Like everybody's bad, you know. I can't be with you, but you know, also everybody else is bad. It's almost like those overprotective fathers of their daughters, you know. No guy is good enough for their daughter, you know. It's that kind of vibe. I would like to say, you know, defending like from a, you know, like a knight in shining armor, but again, there's some immaturity there. Almost again, like doing it for the wrong reasons, you know, standing up for you for the wrong reasons. But I can tell you also that, sorry, I can also tell you that your energy, if you've been listening to advices from the previous readings, like being in your soul energy, and having an open heart. Like in the last reading, I mentioned on your side that you need to fix something when it comes to them. So anyway, if you listened to all those advices, your energy is actually making them stand up for themselves in general, Also, why this soul is emerging. I feel peace and loving energy from this one, and from this one, it's almost like you're not aware that you're doing that. It's like you're just minding your own business, doing your thing, blah blah. But in the energies, your soul is kind of like gently pushing your DM to stand up for themselves. Now, you're probably not aware of that, and they are not aware of that, Um, so it's not like you are physically removing the wall, their wall. You're actually pushing them gently to for them to break their own walls. You know what I mean? So it's not you breaking the walls, uh, it's you making them break the walls, energetically speaking. But it's not like it's gonna, again happen overnight. So they probably will, and they probably should make some mistakes just so they can learn. Again, remember I told you they're going back to the Fool, but on the same level, so they need to repeat some things in order to, for the lesson to stick. But this is telling me that eventually they will stand up for themselves, and with the world, it's kind of destined, it's destined for them to break free, for their soul to break free, and then therefore stand up for themselves, and it's all because of your connection, all because of you and your connection, even if it's just energetically, you actually don't need to do anything in the in the 3D. The universe is doing it with you and through you. also, if they come in with that attitude, you know, of fighting, starting a fight, you will be you will fight to maintain your own peace. You won't put up with it, you know, if they come in with a fight. Also, your energy, your angel energy is around them, is like attacking them, if you will. And they're not gonna be able to fight it. You know, if they're trying, for example, to not think about you or whatever, you know, they're not gonna be able to do it. You know, it's like being stubborn and saying, no, I won't drown, I can breathe underwater, you know, and your connection is the water, you know, and they're like, no, I'll be fine, I can breathe underwater, you know. I mean, it's impossible, you know. So them fighting it is impossible, you know. I mean, this dude is literally in a sandwich with two of cups, you know, two of cups. They are surrounded with your energy. Just like you might be surrounded with their energy, you know, and maybe feeling the coldness because you're focusing on the 3D and all that, and getting pissy because of it, you know. They also feel your energy. Even though your energy is much better, you know, I mean, it's two of cups, but because their little toddler, you know, is a caged little toddler, you know, they try to push it back, you know. It wants to come out of the cage, but they're like, no, you have to stay in. What if I lose control? They're very, very afraid of losing control with you when it comes to emotions. That's why they always kept running. 4, 5. Okay. King of Pentacles, Death, 5 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, 10 of Swords. Oh my god, so many pentacles. Well, one of the fears is that you're gonna cut them out, you know, that you're gonna be the one that's gonna end things. That's their fear, but I don't feel that from you. This king doesn't kill people just because they did him wrong, you know. It's more like he puts them into therapy to help them, you know, instead of killing them. That's how this king feels, you know. But they fear this, so it's all about perception, you know. And they feel it because of this little devil. They're also in a mindset like, what's the point of conversation? It's already, the damage is already done. Like, what's the point, you know? This would be the conversation, this is death, you know? Like, what's the point? It's already done, the damage. Like, can I even fix anything, you know? So by that way of thinking, you know, they leave themselves out in the cold. And yet they're getting all this warmth from you. Oh my god. But see how just the wrong perception can, you know, fuck things up. But again, the universe is trying to fix that, you know. Communication, communication, communication. These two can't be together without communication, you know. So because they're feeling you and because they're feeling all this guilt, I think this is gonna change, you know, this feeling of what's the point, because the universe is gonna push them and it's gonna use the guilt trip to push them. They won't be able to take it anymore, so they're gonna come in, you know, to talk. Okay, tell me about the Eight of Wands. Now, don't you be in a mindset, you know, oh my god, they're gonna come in with fight, blah blah blah. I said they might. Don't be in that mindset, oh my god, they will. Seven of Pentacles. It's almost, it's giving me the vibe of a magician card, you know, like you have everything that you need, you can proceed. You know, if you think about these pentacles as being like food, they are all ripe, you know, you can pick them up, you can eat them. Okay. Oh my god, Tower bookending the Eight of Wands and then Tower clarifying the Eight. Oh my god. Six of Cups. This is also, you know, the timing is now. Oh, there's the Magician. Oh, this is giving me the giggles. Yep. Oh, universe steering some shit up. Because the past is being brought up. Now is the time to fix the past. And also, now it's time to let go of the past. Oh my god, this is so funny. This communication is gonna come out of nowhere. Like, you legit could be in shock, you know. Just like I said, you could be, you know, in that mindset of, oh, I'm never gonna hear from them, you know. You could be at peace with that, you know, like, I'm finally at peace at that, you know. I'm just gonna give myself closure, whatever, you know. And all of a sudden they're there. Just in that moment, you know. Oh my god, so funny. With the Magician, I feel like the universe could be triggering them in a way, just to continue speaking, you know. It's almost like when you're in a fight. Now imagine two people fighting, right? And one is very fired up, and the other one is very very calm, you know. And because this person is already pissy, the calmness of this other person is pissing them even more, you know, because it's like come on, fight me, throw some plates or whatever, you know, just show me some kind of emotion, you know. And they're like, just okay, you know. Like, just their calm nature, you know, they just want some kind of reaction because they're already pissed, you know, and fired up. So this calmness from the other person is triggering them. It's that kind of feeling, you know. It's like you're gonna unintentionally, just by standing there and looking at them, you know, it's like you're gonna trigger them so they can continue talking and rambling, you know, until they spill something important from the soul. Because that's what the universe is trying, you know, for them to do, to speak from the soul, you know. It's like I said somewhere here in the beginning, I lost my train of thoughts. Like I said, something somewhere here in the beginning, you know, it's like they're gonna say something unintentionally that they didn't want to say, but because the emotions are being brought up, you know, they're gonna say something. That's what I see here. Like, the universe is gonna trigger them through you, even though you're not doing anything, you know. You could be just there standing and just listening to them yammer on, you know, with your poker face, whatever, and they will still get triggered, you know. But the universe wants that. It's almost like a therapy session. Oh. it's almost like a therapy session, you know, when somebody, for example, loses a parent or whatever, you know, and they keep saying that they're okay, they're all right, it's fine, but the therapist can see that it's not fine, you know, so they keep asking questions, you know, and then the other person gets more and more mad, you know, why are you asking me this, blah blah blah, and then they start yelling and everything, you know, and the therapist keeps going, you know, until they break down in tears and actually release that pain that was built up. It's that kind of vibe, you know. So the universe is actually trying for them to break, to literally break, so both sides can get some healing and or closure, you know, some proper feelings coming out, just like with a therapist, you know. Like with a therapist, you know, I see that person, you know, getting mad and then just, you know, getting up and then pacing up and down, maybe throwing some pillows or whatever, you know, just getting super mad. And then when they break, it's like just tears coming out, you know, and then I know the therapists don't do that, but it's like they start crying and then the therapist, you know, sits beside them and just hug them, and they just cry their soul out, you know, and hugging the therapist. It's that kind of vibe, you know. The universe is actually trying to break them. And you are the tool for that. So if you trigger them when they come in, don't worry about it. You're just the tool for the universe to break them. Man, I didn't expect this, but I love when the universe surprises me like this. Okay, 7 of Pentacles, Lovers, 5 of Wands again, Death, and 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, that's the that's the inner fight that they have within them. Could be also the external fight. Especially with the 2 towers, like, oh my god. It's 2 towers and two of cups. Oh man. And again, your connection and some major transformation, major shift in the inside the connection, some major shift. I feel the shift feels like, you know, when a company gets sold and bought, you know, and then the new owner comes in and does major changes because the company was about to go through bankruptcy or whatever, you know, it was going very, very bad, and then some genius bought the company and just started making lots of changes, but for the better, you know, upgrading everything. you know, like making the staff wear uniforms to look more professional, you know, making the staff listen to some training, or I should say do some training, changing the whole interior, you know, making it more welcoming with the colors and, you know, just visually, upgrading it, you know, technologically. You know, it's that kind of vibe, like major shift, but for the better, you know. Because this this tree is the same as this bush, you know. It needs to go from barren to green and lush, you know. It's the perfect time to do that. I'm guessing with all the energies, you know, coming through. It's just telling me, you know, it's perfect time to do this shift and these towers and the guilt trip and everything. Because it needs to go from barren to lush, you know. And that's within the connection and with both of you, you know. This barren land is that silence, miscommunication, you know, making up stories instead of asking you, you know, all those things. That's all barren land, and this conversation needs to happen to make it lush again, to fix things, you know. This is like a dying plant, and we need to bring it back to life, you know. So there you go. That's what's happening with the DM currently. And where it's leading, you know. I hope this reading helped you. Keep going, you know, with the being in your soul energy, keeping the heart chakra open, you know, because angel energy is love energy, and that's the only thing that can defeat this devil. So, you know, keep that in mind. Stay loving, stay empressy, you know. There you go. That's your reading. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. There's a PayPal link in the description if you want to support the channel. And that's it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.